And I think she even brings that up. She's like, what are you doing right now? Like, do you like embarrassing me?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think so, honestly.
When she's like a BB moment, which is like a beautiful black moment. Did we get any of those in this episode?
Black.
We have a chaotic vibe moment of the chaotic vibe moment. And you're watching Black by Reality.
Black by Baddies.
And those who love us. Hello, you're watching and or listening to Black by Reality, a place for Black by Baddies and those who love us. I am here once again with my co-host, Quita. Hi, Quita.
Hey there.
And as a surprise to talk about these alter decisions, I'm also here with Katurah Topps of Survivor 45. Hi, Katurah.
Hi, guys. I'm so excited to get into this.
I am as well. I think before we start, Katurah, what has been your experience like watching season 6?
Ooh, okay. Well, a roller coaster, actually, because right before watching it, I was just talking to my friends about the merits of dating men, and I couldn't find any. And then I was like, no, I bet it's great. I bet there's a lot of good stuff. And it was like, I feel like it was right around Valentine's Day that we were having that discussion, and that's right when like Love is Blind season 6 came out.
Yes,
and I was like, come on. It just like, I really remember calling my friend and being like, am I jaded, or are these guys just making it all look like a terrible decision?
They are the worst batch. I would argue hands down in just one season. This is the worst.
That's what they told me. Actually, it was Sabaya. She was like, no, you're not jaded. Like, these are just a bad group of men. And I was like, okay, phew, I need to know that, because it is alarming.
It is.
How shockingly bad they are. What about y'all?
Well, we weren't able to watch our whole journey and experience on this one, but it's been a roller coaster just because that's what this series is. The freaking roller coaster. Speaking of, the top of the finale, we got these two.
Oh, God.
You know how many times I have gone back to this episode because I'm a writer for Collider and I'm writing about the show, and then when I get here, I forget Chelsea and Jimmy is even in this episode.
Yeah. I think that's why they put him in the beginning.
Yeah, it's jarring every time. I'm like, oh my God, this conversation. We should remember the cliffhanger of last episode is Jimmy, because Jimmy loves setting up Miss Chelsea. One thing he gonna do is ask, he's gonna say all the flowery things. Like, if you just ask this, or if you just say this, I'll do it. And then sets her up with the okie doke. Jimmy's like, oh, you're my woman. I went into this looking for one. The greatest thing I ever did was meeting you. So what's your decision? What's going to be your decision in a couple of days? Chelsea is like, of course. They've been through everything, but today was a really good day. The fact that Chelsea said yesterday was an off day, I'm like, Chelsea, you fought this man yesterday?
This whole interaction, I was just like, so Chelsea really is delusional. Like, this whole thing. I was just like, what do you mean yesterday was an off day? I'm like, I'm just going back through the entire season. Y'all's relationship has been off.
So she's saying yesterday was the day that she found out that he slept with a friend?
No, because they had
that conversation. That was the clingy day.
Yes, it was just this. It wasn't even the clingy day.
Wait, what was yesterday then?
We don't know. That's the whole thing. It's like they fought yesterday, and she basically alluded that they were not good yesterday, but she was like, "Oh, today is good." And I'm like, now, guys, this is ridiculous. But of course, she's ready. She's ready to get married. Nothing can dissuade her from this. Jimmy says she's done everything he wants in a wife every day. And I'm like, why are you lying? What are we lying for? Does he really believe that? Like,
we know he doesn't believe that because then he goes on to just like read her. So it's like, sir, what are we
and
doing?
he's calm while he's watching her go through this. It was such a good day, and today was wonderful, and I'm feeling really good about us. Honestly, I think they're both out of hand.
They are. Like, they so are. I don't get it. So he then blindsides her, saying he doesn't want to go to the altar. Devastating. Chelsea, devastated. Why did he not just say all of that? And I think she even brings that up. She's like, what are you doing right now? Like, do you like embarrassing me?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think so, honestly.
He's like, I wanted to ride the roller coasters and I don't mind embarrassing you. So it was just like a win-win.
Oh my God. Yeah, she asked why he wasted her whole day if he knew he was going to do this. Because, they really did have the cutest date they've ever had. I was like, oh, I see chemistry. I understand. And then at the end, this happens. Like, why were you playing in her face the whole day?
I have a little bit of a hot take.
It's probably not, because a lot of people hate Chelsea, let's be honest. But what is it?
I mean, I couldn't get through that interaction without constantly thinking how frustratingly annoying Chelsea is. Like, she does a lot. It's literally like, breathe, like, calm down. And I can imagine a world where they're having a great day and she's not technically doing anything wrong, but that whiny voice and that extraness. And I feel like, and I don't know if I'm tainted from the previous issues that have come up this season, but it just feels like her insecurity radiates. And I just feel like that would get tiring, even if you are having a great day. Like, I could see myself, like, if I were him dating her and being like, do I want to though? But like, I think I'm gonna say no. Wait, no. Let me wait till dinner. Maybe I'll change my mind. Nah, I'm gonna say no. Like, not to give Jimmy any credit. Like, I the only credit I give him is not dragging her all the way to the aisle and then saying no, because I think she would have a breakdown from that. Like, I think that would be really bad for her. So that is the little bit of credit, but I kind of get it. Like, Chelsea So should not be marrying anybody.
No. She should not.
But I feel bad saying that. I
mean, it's interesting. I think Chelsea is such an interesting what the reaction to her is such an interesting thing to witness, because I think everyone understands where it's coming from. It's her insecurity, and yet it's like I think someone who a comment that I heard someone say that I thought was actually probably what really angers people about her is that because her emotions are so big, she kind of like tramples on everyone else, especially revealing the secret, which Jimmy talking about reputation, Chelsea, she's like, I mean, I don't care about your reputation. I think she very much centers herself as the victim in that. But he mentions, he's like, I don't even care about my reputation. I think the first time around, he's like, I care about my friends, and she's a woman. But I'm also like, why did you guys decide to risk it putting her on camera?
I was just about to say that. I was gonna say, how do y'all feel about it? Because I was like, on one hand, I get it, but you brought her into this. Like, it wouldn't be as big of a deal if she was random woman X who we don't know, but we saw her and we know who she is. We've seen her face. And so it's kind of like, you did that, Jimmy. Like,
and I think he underestimated Chelsea's insecurity. Because I can see how he'd be like, he's honest with Chelsea. He tells her, hey, I slept with one of my best friends. He tells her off camera and then has her meet her so she can feel more comfortable. Theoretically, right? Like in his head, he's like, I bring her around so that way you feel comfortable and like you see how we interact with each other. But he underestimated how insecure she would feel about it all and not really communicate. And then she's like blurting out on camera, you fucked your, you know, and it's like, but I'm like, Jimmy, this is the same person where you whispered to her, that lady stacked. And then she took it upon herself to announce it to a party full of people.
I forgot about that.
Taking it all the way back. Wow.
That's a really great point. That's a really great point.
Yeah.
So wait, so are we sure Jimmy told Chelsea about sleeping with the friend before she met the friend?
I don't know if it was before or after.
Okay.
But either way, I feel like he introduced her to the friend and then was honest with her because he was trying to be like transparent and like try to make her feel more comfortable with the situation. But I'm like, Chelsea was not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So many people probably aren't comfortable with that. But instead of her being like, I'm uncomfortable with that, she just held it in and then gets drunk off of dirty martinis one night. And it's like, I'm going to tell everybody watching all of Netflix that you had sex with this girl that they just saw on screen last episode.
Yeah. So Jimmy tries to also reveal something later when she starts going off on him. And he said, well, she FaceTimed her ex when they got their phones back. And Jimmy says that he can't fathom marrying her after that broken trust. And I think he also accused her of hanging out with that friend. And the way Chelsea responded, I was like, oh, I actually don't believe Jimmy. I don't think she's ever like hung out with the ex, maybe just like the FaceTime, because she was heated when he said that and was like, this is not the same as you and your girl.
I kind of believe Jimmy.
Why do you say that?
I don't think they hung out, but the fact that she FaceTimed him, like what he was one of the first people, and she out of her own mouth said, one of my best friends is my ex. She said that. But then when he calls her out on that, she starts trying to backtrack and she's like, we're mutual friends. And it's like, no, you yourself said y'all were best friends. So were you lying then or are you lying now?
But I'm also wondering if it's the same ex. Like I got a feeling because that ex was the husband, but she got married very young, I believe. So I'm thinking that's years and years. I remember Jimmy saying specifically, and that ex is more recent than what I did with Homegirl.
Yeah. I don't think it's the husband.
2 years ago.
No. But when she said one of my best friends is my ex, she didn't indicate that it was her ex-husband. It was just like one of her exes.
And I almost like they said boyfriend at some point. Like I could be wrong, but I like husband didn't even cross my mind. So I feel like they didn't. I don't know. I kind of just chunked it up to Chelsea's insecurity. Like I didn't feel like the way they described it, it didn't feel like, you know what, there's probably a risk that Chelsea's talking to this friend and she like actually might like him and there might be something brewing. It's like they probably broke up and she probably was like, it makes me feel good to know that I can just like call you and probably do that baby voice and you'll probably still be like around and we'll be like, yeah, we're just good friends, you know? And the fact that she called him or FaceTimed him immediately the night they got engaged or whatever or back, it's like she probably also just wanted that guy to know, like, yay, somebody wants to marry me. Like, I just chunked it up to just that's a girl being insecure.
It could be, but also I don't know. I don't trust Jimmy. Like both of them, I don't trust, but I also don't trust how like Jimmy's bringing this up because I'm like, you don't seem worried about that ex-boyfriend for you to like compare it the same because I'm like, was her calling the ex also? She was talking about mutual friends, so I'm like, is it a group chat call? Because if it's a group chat call telling all my friends, hey, I got engaged on this show, I think that's very different than like.
She would have said group chat. I feel like it
Yeah.
was individual, but I feel like he also knows that it wasn't to the level of what's going on with her. I feel like he was like, you exposed something private about me publicly, and I need to make sure that my lick is gotten back. And so now the whole world can say, well, we also saw that she called it, like, right? Like, it's just the other end. It's a non-thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I definitely think that's his intention, and I'm like, Jimmy, I'm not falling for it.
But I don't know. I feel like between the two of them, like, I don't think either of them are great, but I feel like the two of them, he feels more reasonable to me. Like, he feels ground in logic. Like, when he talks, it's like, you did this major thing that betrayed my trust, and now I don't feel like I can trust you anymore, and that makes me feel like I can't marry you.
Yes.
And that feels logical to me. And she's like, I am walking on eggshells. And like, Chelsea, that has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. You're just saying stuff. It felt very much like a whiny little, I don't know, maybe it's her delivery that just throws me off. I'm just like, Chelsea, come on.
And I think it's the delusion. It's like her being like, this one little thing is the reason why you won't marry me. And it's like, Chelsea, y'all have had conflicts this entire time. What are you talking about? This one thing. And it just like, in that moment where she's like, I feel like I have to walk on eggshells. And Jimmy's like, tell me how. Give me an example. And then she goes quiet. And I was like,
yes.
Chelsea.
And I was like, yeah, call her bluff. Call her bluff. Like, come on. And she had nothing to say. And it was like, I just feel really hurt. And I was like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Chelsea has no problem like walking around in this relationship. It's truly though that she gets so triggered by Jimmy. And that's what feels like walking on eggshells. It's like, I'm going to have to make these explosions. But when she recounted, because, okay, Chelsea broke Jimmy's trust. Cool. But it wasn't there trust broken when Jimmy said we can cool it on sex on international TV?
And then he tried to gaslight her.
Yeah.
When she was like, you said.
But it's like, you said that. And he was like, I didn't say that. She was like, it was literally the same day as Clingy. Yeah. I get if he didn't remember if it was just one thing, but they also had that whole conversation on the bed the next day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They've had a lot of conversation.
Right. I forgot about that. You're right. He definitely gaslit her the whole. He was like, "What? When? That didn't happen.
Never happened."
Yes.
And honestly, like that's why I feel guilty not being exactly full pro Chelsea. It's because I'm still recovering from being on TV and everybody's sending comments about how they feel about everything I do, right? And I know the world is ripping Chelsea to shreds. So I feel really bad about that because she's just a regular girl who just needs some therapy. Like she just needs to feel better about herself, right? We've all had those moments where you're not feeling the best about you and you just need some time and some therapy and some good relationships and you'll be better. Absolutely. And I feel like people are just ripping her to shreds. And then, like, on top of that, really, mother, you gonna tell the whole world that you don't want to have sex with me? Like, they would be like, and Katurah was swiftly convicted of murder. Like, yeah, like, that is so embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Can't come back from it. Embarrassing. And this is after the Megan Fox, and after you called me clingy. Yeah. And now I found out you slept with her. Yeah, I'm probably gonna let it slip. Yeah,
exactly. And here's my thing about Chelsea. Like, I feel like if I went through all that, maybe I would be like reasonable Nicole now. I would turn it into Chelsea. Exactly. I would turn it into her.
Exactly.
I also think it's like something about Love is Blind, and I feel like Married at First Sight too is so many straight women, their desire to be married just amplifies the delusion, because even within their argument where he's like telling her, I don't want to go to the altar, she's trying to convince him to go to the altar, but all of her reasons are even more like concrete evidence of why they shouldn't get married. Because he's like, you betrayed my trust. And she's like, you betrayed my trust. And it's like, okay, so y'all have no trust in this relationship. But on either side, should y'all get married right now? Probably not. Like, you're saying you feel like you have to walk on eggshells. Should you marry this man that you don't feel comfortable around?
Yeah.
Maybe not. You know? And yeah, it's like, I'm like, girl, Chelsea, stand up. Like, he's like, no, I don't want to go to the altar with you. And you should have just been like, cool. This has been a lot. This has been a freaking lot.
Just not to jump ahead, but taking that comment you made about the desire to get married is so strong that it pushes the delusion. I think it applies later on to AD and Clay.
Ooh,
yeah.
Yes.
It does, for sure.
All right. Should we get there? No. I'm sorry. We gotta wait.
I don't want to rush us. No, I don't want to rush us.
We'll talk about Amy and Johnny next because it's like 30 minutes of the episode.
My rewatch, I clocked that. I was like, there was like 5 minutes for the recap in Jimmy and Chelsea, and then an hour of Clay and AD, and 30 minutes of Amy and Johnny.
And honestly, 30 minutes too long.
Ooh.
It's true.
It's
true.
It was a little boring.
I was thinking to myself, it's just me. I'm tired. I've been working too much, because the first time I watched it, I just fast forwarded right past them and went straight back to the ending of AD and Clay. And then I watched it to prepare for this, but I saw in the meantime a TikTok and it was like everybody was fast forwarding this, and I was like, oh my God, it's not me. Like, I mean, but that's a positive for them. What's the storyline?
Well, I mean, I guess it's like it's a positive because it's like in a season
storyline. He can't impregnate her, Katurah. They can't have a baby right now.
In AD's words, they are definitely hunching. They are definitely. Come on, what? She's all free and lively. They've been risky. I feel like they're going back to a 19 or to a high school method, I should say.
Yo, that's exactly in South Carolina. That's exactly what's happening over there.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about this. Yes, no more vasectomy. Like, you know how much I would appreciate them if I got a vasectomy storyline?
Yeah, that would have been cool. I almost thought we were going to.
No, I knew it wasn't. I was like, it's too good to be true.
Johnny's like, I've been on Google and I have an update. I'm not doing that.
Right. Upon 15 minutes of consideration, we've decided this is not an option.
Yeah. Okay. For Amy and Johnny, I mean, we barely get anything. I feel like we just get to the bachelorette party. So I thought she looked so cute.
She's so pretty. I really like her energy too. Like, she just seems like a sweet, grounded woman.
Yes. She is an energy girly. But then we get some drinks in us and we start talking about our relationship. I wish Amy would just admit she could have a baby in the next year and should be good, because the way she told AD, she was like, I just didn't know it was a hard no. It's like, he's scared. He's like real scared. And then she said, but I mean, I don't want a baby either. And it's like, that's not true. That's not true. And that's okay.
Yeah. I actually feel like she kind of did say like she'd be comfortable with having a baby. Like, she just kind of, I'm thinking not of this latest episode, but like a few episodes ago when they first started talking about it, and she was kind of just like, yeah, I agree. Like, let's definitely do it when we have all the money. But like, if it happens, like, it's very much like, if it does, it does. And it's like, well, it will if we're not intentional about it.
Exactly.
So I feel like she'll be fine with it. And I feel like I understand his fear, because his fears are my fears. Like, I'm like, ugh. Like, I feel at 30 the way I felt at 18, like, you're not pregnant, and I get pregnant. So I totally get that, but I feel like they're not making any action towards it, and she's gonna end up getting pregnant. He's not gonna take birth control. He's not gonna get a vasectomy.
Yes, exactly.
They're newlyweds.
Right. And condoms apparently don't exist in their universe.
Oh,
but-
that's true. I mean, I guess condoms can work for a little bit.
I think it's very Gilmore Girls. Everything about this, she's gonna be like, what was the best friend's name? Like Lily or whatever. She like has sex just once on her honeymoon, immediately pregnant, and it derails her whole entire life. And she said she didn't even like it.
Damn!
I know, and she got twins.
Dang!
I know, it's a huge injustice. It's a huge.
Wait, are Amy and Johnny saying they don't use condoms too?
We're gonna learn that at the reunion. If you saw the reunion trailer.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly forgot about. See, this is where my non-straightness is coming, and I was like, "All right, condoms." I forgot about condoms.
Yeah, you did.
Right.
Have
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was like, "What other way? They're gonna definitely be pregnant."
I mean, clearly that's what they're thinking too. They're like, there's no other way.
All right. So 80 is shook. 80 does a whole confessional about the sex life. And she's like, nah, she fucking that man. I know. She said she was spicy, which is like, whew, tired. But also, it's like, she's like, yeah, she fucking that man. Don't believe it.
Well, Amy also was like, when AD was shocked, and she's like, oh, y'all not having sex at all? She's like, we have fun. We have fun. And I'm like, girl, that's either you're on the street and around the corner from it, or you're there. Like,
I feel like Amy is very much aware that her family and her parents are going to see this. And the way she talks about it, keeping it cute. Because I remember initially when they went on their to the DR, she says the physical connection's there. And that was before the other women started talking about their sex lives. And so I'm just like, I wouldn't be surprised if they are having sex, but she does not want to explicitly talk about that on camera with anyone.
I can see that. And she wasn't she the one who was like, my parents' approval is like paramount. Like if they don't say yes,
her dad.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then it's so funny that also just goes out the window because at the end when she gets the approval. So
yeah,
whatever. Johnny and Jenny and Clay, they're having their bachelor party, and you know, Johnny doesn't have much to say. He goes on and on about how much he loves Amy, so we know where this is going. Yeah. Now this bachelor situation is so much more interesting from Clay's side, but we're sticking to this couple. We get to their wedding day. Yeah.
I was shocked though, just going back to the bachelor night, bachelor party, bachelorette party. I remember like seeing Amy and AD walk in, and AD's dress is really cute, I thought. And then being like, wait, is it just two of them? And I literally had to go through the couples and be like, dang, everybody else didn't make it. Like no one else made it. This was crazy to me.
This season was a freaking bloodbath. Like bloodbath. It was so bad, and it's this trajectory. Last season only had 2, I think, as well.
Yeah. And it was so interesting though there was that moment when Johnny and Clay are talking at the bachelor party, and they're like, it's just the two of us. And I think Clay is like, I wouldn't have it any other way. Or maybe it's Johnny, but I feel like that was just like filler things to say, because I'm just like, like, what? Are y'all not shocked that like Jimmy and Chelsea aren't here? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
honestly, probably not though. Like, I'm not shocked that they're not there. Although Chelsea was right. They were the strongest couple, Amy and Johnny.
Look, and the way that Jimmy was still giving Chelsea shit about that in their last conversations, like, I know you're not actually mad about that. Like, what are you doing?
I think that was a thing around her insecurities. He was probably tired of her naming it, because he said you brought it up twice since the barbecue.
Oh, that's true. She does bring up things.
And
she's probably comparing them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said 3 times. She said, "It was only twice." I was just
Yeah.
like, "You still brought it up multiple times, Chelsea."
Oh, Chelsea. Their families. I noticed that Johnny's sister stayed with Amy the whole time as she got ready, and I was like, that's a huge
Aw.
tell. That's something I'm gonna look at in the future. Her daddy, he's like, oh, I was hesitant, but you know, now I'm a softie and I got more daughters. And Johnny, I will say, watching Johnny get ready with his boys, he said a whole freaking list of what he loved about this woman. He said she's open-minded and really cares. She's passionate about her family. She is a grinder, and when she walks into a room, she commands it.
Wow.
That one, I was like, I feel like he's scratching it a little, but
Yeah, I was like, I don't
Amy's
get
really
that from
sexy and
Amy.
amazing.
But that's he should get that from Amy, though. That's great that he gets that from Amy.
Yeah. I always look at Amy when she's around somewhere. She's like usually doing her own thing.
Right. I feel like that's what I noticed about her. She was hardly ever with the other women. She was just kind of off.
Yep. So Amy's biggest fear is that he will let her down, get cold feet once he sees her down the aisle. But of course, that doesn't happen, and they get married. So, yeah, there's really not much more to
See?
say.
Yeah, it's like
It was just, I mean, the sweet moments, like her
Yes.
dad, Johnny's sister getting ready with her
Yeah.
brother also walking down the aisle with her. That's
Mhm.
really the big thing, was just like the family moments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that both of them seem to have really caring, invested families.
they do. They do.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. it
And that
is.
might be why they were one of the more successful couples.
Yeah.
I think
Strong
so.
values. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, love is eating good. Now let's get to some matters.
Yes. All right. Oh, we start
And
off.
you have to be. I feel like this is a messy picture, Nicole. Like,
No.
back to this moment.
Oh, I don't know. They just didn't have any.
Was this the date? Oh no, this wasn't the
The
date.
date
Never
right
mind.
before. Yeah.
Okay,
No,
okay.
this is when she's like, "I'll take you to the moon if you stay with me." He's like, "To the moon," and he like actually points to the moon.
Yeah.
Okay, baddies, you know what it is. This finale was so much to discuss on the AD and Clay side, so there's going to be a part 2 where it just focuses on Clay and AD. I hope you watch and listen. It'll be in the same feed or YouTube playlist as the first part. Bye.